We are going to get going here. Good day, everybody. Welcome to this live webinar and case study. We're quite excited to be here today with wonderful partner Rhombus Systems, along with a shared customer in ClosedLoop. And we'll talk through a little bit what we do with ClosedLoop, and we help them safeguard their workplace for their employees. It's a nice way to bring and make it real what we do together as two partners with a common customer. So with that, we're going to be talking. I'm Kieran Hannon. I'm the CMO of Openpath, joined today by Garrett Larson, who's the co-founder and CEO of Rhombus Systems, and Lance Loveday, who's the CEO of ClosedLoop. ClosedLoop is our shared customer case study we're going to be sharing. So the agenda, it's a quite quick overview. We're going to talk a little bit about Openpath, talk a little bit about Rhombus, then a live demo with Rhombus going into their platform and sharing those capabilities, and then lead into the case study with Lance, followed by Q&A. Feel free to post any questions you have in the chat. We're joined by some colleagues, Donnie Schaefer and Jordan with Rhombus, and Johnny with Openpath, who will either answer your questions in the chat or will post them to us as well. So don't hesitate. We'll also at the end allow for any questions you might have as well. All right. So what's really important is when you look at systems for your company, that they are open and that they are kind of best in class. You don't want to be limiting yourselves or having trade-offs by going with a subpar solution because it might already have another feature that you might want in a related area, but doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. With a company like Openpath and with a company like Rhombus Systems, we're built on an open platform. Each of us are best-in-class solutions for our respective areas, collectively coming together in this integration, exponentially much more value and features that come with that. So it's very important for you as you think about systems like access control, systems like video surveillance, video management systems, that you go for a best-in-class, because those naturally will partner very nicely together in a seamless integrated manner, which we'll show you today. So Openpath is a customizable mobile first, you see that example of hands-free wave to unlock cloud-based access control solution. In parallel, Rhombus creates intelligent cloud video physical security solutions. So collectively, our two companies are in the physical security space, but we like to describe that we're bridging the gap between physical and digital security. And so the way to think about the power of the two is greater when you bring these two systems together. Openpath as an access control company, these are kind of the key tenets when you're looking for a best-in-class, best-in-breed access control company. When you think about the hardware, does the hardware really reflect the design aesthetic that you're looking for? Is it secure? Does it allow you to do all the added features like with firmware updates that you don't have to worry about with a truck roll? So again, we develop, design, and build our own hardware, and we also build our own software so that we can ensure it's a complete end-to-end encrypted platform. Our cloud-based software allows you to create instant, real-time, simultaneous instructions throughout the system, depending on what your need is. So it's, again, there's no latency, no hesitation, no having to wait for this to get deployed throughout. It's instantaneous because of our cloud-based and the firmware solution. Very, very important are the credentials. Obviously, these are the ways that you access the buildings, your common entries and so forth. Very important that they must be encrypted. So with us, all of our credentials, our mobile credential, our physical credential, should you need it, whether it's a card or fob, they're all fully encrypted, again, for that high level degree of security. And again, as I mentioned, a key tenet that is open when you're thinking about a best-in-class. All of our APIs are open, fully available for you to use. You can create rules as you see fit, download reports if you're creating a kind of a master understanding of your access control and other features. All of this is instantly available through our APIs. if you see on the right-hand side, this is a great example of what we mean by touchless. Someone has the phone in their pocket or in their bag, don't have to take it out. They're instantly recognized as authorized to enter that door. They show intent by waving in front of the reader, don't have to touch the reader whatsoever. And if connected, if the system is connected to an automatic door opener, then that's a complete touchless entry experience. You have not, that person has not had to touch anything whatsoever. The beauty of this is not only that it's a very user-friendly, but the speed and reliability. And how do we get that? We combine Bluetooth plus Wi-Fi plus cellular for that speed and reliability. Most systems only use Bluetooth, which has a tendency to fail 1 out of 3 times. That's not a great experience if you're strolling up and try to get in and the Bluetooth doesn't work and you have to do it again. With us, because we use all 3 simultaneously, you can be reassured that that speed and reliability is there and the unlock happens immediately. The mobile credential, right? Some systems, an example on the right-hand side, just basically digitize your physical access card and you have it on your screen. You can only use it one way, just for unlock. Openpath, on the other hand, we developed and designed a platform with the user experience paramount, right? It was designed with addressing that frictionful experience and making it frictionless. So with us, we've just have 10 examples here of all the different things you can do with your mobile app, right? If you're using it, you know, viewing door status. Oh, did we lock that front door? Yeah, you can see it immediately. You can provide remote access. If you're out and about and there's an unscheduled delivery or someone needs to get in to do something, you're able to unlock the door from wherever you are. Providing guest passes. Lockdown triggers is another important example where if you're authorized, then you can enable a lockdown trigger. You know, if you're out on the campus, you're not by a hardwired trigger, you don't have to run back. This is a great example of being able to enable a lockdown from your mobile device. And of course, we have an SDK where you can embed our app within your own app if you have a branded experience as well for your employees and guests. Openpath, we are in a wide range of industries, whether it's commercial real estate, powering the whole building and tenants in the building, whether you're an enterprise customer where you have your own building, like Bird Rides is a great example of a customer who has many buildings throughout the US and around the world. We're deployed globally. And again, that's a great example of an enterprise customer. Multifamily residential, retail, places of worship and education. These are all great verticals, industries that enjoy an Openpath and Rhombus experience. So we talked a little bit about the industries and solutions that we have. These are the type of entries that we support. Obviously, we talked about the common doors, elevators, turnstile, parking garages, and tenant amenity systems. So the example on the right-hand side is a customer Keep Trucking who uses Envoy with Openpath to provide that touchless experience for guests as they visit Keep Trucking. And we love to share our customers who enjoy Openpath. And again, we're with commercial real estate properties across the US and across the world. More recent one is the Forum here in LA have deployed Openpath. And you'll see a range of enterprise customers on the right-hand side who all enjoy our touchless access control experience for their employees. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Garrett, who's the CEO and co-founder of Rhombus. Hi, Garrett. Good morning.
All right. Thanks a lot. So just a quick background on Rhombus Systems. At Rhombus, we provide cloud-managed video security and IoT sensors for enterprises and businesses around the world. So the big value add of Rhombus is we get rid of all the complexity and headaches with traditional video security systems. If you have any of these, you know that usually they require servers, NVRs, hard drives. It's just a lot of lift to actually get all that system to work. And we get away all of it, and we just have the cameras, and the cameras form the basis of our system. And then, of course, you can manage all of that in the cloud. So digging a little bit deeper into how the system actually works is, as I mentioned, everything is based on the cameras. The cameras are almost like a mini computer in that they have a really powerful GPU in there, and they do a lot of the edge processing. So we have a lot of advanced AI in our system. They can do things like such as identify a person, a face, a vehicle, a license plate, do all of that image recognition, and then actually store all the video on the camera. So as I mentioned, there are no servers, there are no hard drives to manage. We store up to 180 days of continuous HD video directly on the cameras. And then of course, as Kieran was talking about, we make all of this available in a cloud managed solution, just like Openpath. So no matter where you are, especially in this time and age where a lot of us are remote, you can manage this entire system from your mobile device, from your browser. It's all super seamless. There's no special software to download. You don't have to worry about is it compatible with a certain Windows laptop. We just make it all super simple, no matter where you are. And then lastly, there's a layer of security that goes with this. Obviously, this is super important data. The founding team here at Rhombus comes from a cybersecurity background. So we built the entire platform from the ground up with security as a paramount concern. So whether that's the AES 256 encryption we do for all the video that's stored on the camera, we encrypt everything that's in transit, and then of course everything that's stored in the cloud is encrypted. And then above and beyond that, we take regular third-party security audits just to make sure that someone external is constantly hitting our system to make sure that there's no vulnerabilities that we might have missed out on. So we take the entire security side very seriously. All right, next slide. All right, so how Rhombus is different than other systems out there. So first and foremost, we are a true physical security platform in that we both do the video security and the IoT sensors that go with it. It's a completely seamless experience, so you can get a full 360-degree view of everything that's going on, complete situational awareness, and that's something that none of the other video security platforms do out there. Secondly, we have very advanced AI features that begin with the computer vision. As you probably know, computer vision is really taking off these days and what you're able to do there. We really try to push the boundaries of what's possible from facial recognition. I'll show that a little bit of that in a little bit, to some of the license plate recognition, even to doing things like unusual behavior detection, actually seeing what's normal and then actually telling you when something is not normal. So that is something that very much differentiates us. And then lastly, and as Kieran was talking about a little bit too, is this notion of enterprise integrations. We want to work with best of breed solutions like Openpath. And so we really go out of our way to make sure that we are a fully integrated solution and that we work with the other cloud solutions you have, such as Openpath or maybe Slack for notifications. So we really want to make sure you get the best or you get the most out of all the solutions that you already use. And then of course we have customers kind of like Openpath across numerous verticals, whether it be education, construction, multifamily housing, all kind of the same verticals that we work within. All right, next slide. So now we want to transition. We've talked a little bit about what Openpath does. We've talked a little bit about what Rhombus does, but now we want to bring in an actual customer that uses both solutions and hear how they use it. So I'm happy to introduce Lance, who is the CEO from ClosedLoop. Oh, Lance, I think you're on mute.
Thank you, Garrett. I apologize. Thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to be here and share our story. Yeah. You know, like many, you know, smaller, I guess, medium-sized businesses now, I didn't get serious about security until I was forced to. We in our old building had a theft, and like many people and consumers even, you know, sometimes you close the barn door after the horse has left. But after that theft, and we lost about 10 computers and some other gear in that, you know, I scrambled to get an access control system in place and a camera system in place. And because I was moving with speed, I didn't really evaluate all my options, and I just wanted to kind of check the box. And what I ended up with was, I realized, you know, later, a really old school system, two different systems. They weren't integrated at all. The access control system had a keypad on it that had these chunky keys on it that reminded me of an old Motorola cell phone. You know, it was very old school. and it was PC based. It didn't allow for remote management as a result. The camera system that I had was DVR based, and also made it near impossible to actually monitor remotely. And I ended up being really frustrated by that and realizing, months after I'd installed this and spent all this money, that I was really, I'm sure most people have heard the phrase security theater. And that's what I feel like I had enabled for my company, was security theater, because I didn't have alerting on the cameras that was helpful in any proactive way. So if there was a theft, I wouldn't have known it in the middle of the night. And with the access control system, because it was keypad based, and it got frustrating for people to have to open all the time, people would either prop the door open or just give the codes out constantly. And so it ended up being totally useless, not secure at all, not safe for my people. And as I said, didn't have any remote management features, certainly wasn't integrated such that I could go back and easily check on the video to see when the door was opened or accessed. And I have to say too, it was massively unintuitive and just unusable. And therefore, because it was so unpleasant to work with, it made it that much less attractive for us to even try. So it was really frustrating. So when I had the opportunity, as we moved into our new space, to do things differently, I did look around a little bit more and wanted to be a little smarter about the new system that we built. And I was fortunate to find both Openpath and Rhombus. And for me, it's just, I don't know, I love it when things work, first of all, when they're reliable, but also when they work the way that I feel like they should. And that's how these systems work. I walk up to my front door in the office here, and as you saw in that quick video that Kieran showed, I wave my hand in front of it, it authenticates via my phone, and the door unlocks. And I just love that. And it's got a certain cool factor, I have to admit too. People think it's magic. I can walk up to the building, I just wave my hand, and it knows I'm me, and it lets me in. So that's just kind of fun and cool by itself. But from a value perspective for the company, it's way more secure. There is no key code for us to be giving out. It is way easier to administer, and we can easily, as Kieran mentioned as well, give someone a one-time credential or do a remote unlock. I did a remote unlock from South America over the holidays to let a worker into the space. And it just, again, it felt kind of magical to me. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I was able to watch it on the video to make sure that everything was kosher. That's, in my view, how this should work. Now with, obviously everyone dealing with the COVID crisis, I'm thinking about how to return to work and to ensure a safe environment for people. And the wave to lock feature, I think, is going to be fantastic for us. And I'm excited about being able to, ensure some level of physical distancing, and the Rhombus system has some capabilities to help with that. And I would just point out too that it's kind of like an iPhone, I guess, in a way too. The system just gets smarter over time with these software updates because it is truly cloud-based. And these AI features have really just been a pleasure to work with. And now the system's set up so it actually recognizes our custodial crew when they come in at night. And, I don't get alerted to that anymore because I don't need to be, right? That's a normal event. It's been really a lot of fun to work with for me. And it was surprisingly easy to install and integrate between the two systems. And now it works, again, the way that I feel like the system should. If I get an alert that someone has accessed the building, I can easily go to the video and immediately to it because the systems are integrated in that way. So for me, there's just been no compromise. And from a cost and a value perspective, it was really equivalent to these old school systems that many of these MSPs are out there trying to sell now. So it was a no-brainer, and there's just been no compromise, and we're happy as can be.
Wow, Lance, I think you almost hit on everything. I was thinking of follow-up questions as I was going on here, and you almost hit everything I was going to ask. I'll just ask one follow-up question, and then maybe Kieran, you have one. You know, being away from the office now a lot, can you maybe just describe a little bit more like your experience? Do you use the mobile apps much? And if so, like what's been your experience in using the mobile apps for these?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I definitely have. I've configured the alerts to let me know what's going on, because there are often, so many days where there aren't people in the office. I'm generally the only person that's coming in and out. So I'm that much more concerned about the place being unmonitored and unmanned for long periods of time. So I'm using the alerts to tighten that down a little bit and feel like I've got a closer eye on things on the one hand. On the other hand, we are taking advantage, as I know many are during this time, to do a little construction upgrades and maintenance while the office is largely empty. So there have been some work crews coming in back and forth, and the ability to dole out the remote credentials to the work crews that need to come in has been a big deal, as well as to, on a last minute basis, just to do the remote unlock. Occasionally I've had guys just text me and say, okay, I'm here. Can you let me in? And yeah, no problem. And it's seamless, and it works. And as I say, it just tickles me to be able to do that. And again, that's how I feel like it should work. And hats off to you guys for making the technology available to make it happen.
Garrett, you're absolutely right. I think Lance covered it very well. I would ask the question maybe from an ease of installation. Obviously, you had an existing legacy system, both on the access side and on the video side, and you've gone out with this best-in-breed solution. I would think it would be a nice ease of install, because you can use the existing cabling. You didn't have to run new wiring or anything like that. Just swap out kind of the equipment. How was it working with your system integrator to do this upgrade?
Yeah, at first, I'll be honest, they were a little bit resistant to the idea because it was a different platform than they were used to. But I kind of insisted on it, and by the end of it, they really came around, and they got excited about the platform. They installed it actually for themselves in their own office, and now they're running around selling it all over this region. Because like most things, until you're exposed to it and you actually experience it, it's easy to, I think, fall into a sense of comfort and even complacency. So at first, until it really proved out, they weren't totally sure on it. But as they got exposed to it, as I have been now, once you get exposed to it, you're just immediately a believer. It's like, oh wow, I can't believe how painful this used to be, and how easy it is now, and how intelligent it is.
Oh. Well, wonderful. Thank you, Lance. We love your passion for what you do in your team, and we love having you as a customer collectively Rhombus and Openpath. So thank you. This is very helpful.
Happy to evangelize for things I believe in.
Thank you. So with that, we're now going to go into a live demo from Garrett. I'm going to allow him to share his screen.
All right, great. I assume you can see my screen now.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just gonna make this really quick. I wanted to show just quickly what the integrated solution looks like if you were to deploy both Openpath and Rhombus. I'm showing you here the Rhombus side of the console, and then I'll show a little bit about Openpath. So with Rhombus, if you log in, you get a dashboard, you see everything that's going on, you see alerts. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. And then one of the things that Lance mentioned is we also do advanced AI analytics. So in this day and age, maybe you want to know how many people are in your office over what time frames. Because of some of the AI features I mentioned before, we can do things like unique visitor counting, foot traffic counting, and those types of things. But what I want to show is this integration between Rhombus and Openpath. So I am going to go and show a server door entry we have at our office and show what it looks like both with an authorized entry and some of the advanced stuff that we can do with detecting unauthorized entry. So I'm going to go here. This is me badging in with my phone. You can see it's identified me. You can see here that there's a badge event. We actually tag all this in the video, so you can go from one event to the next. So again, I'm going to go directly to this event. You can see me badging in. I'm badging into the Openpath system. It detects it. Both Openpath and Rhombus are communicating in the background and saying, hey, this is Garrett coming in. It's authorized. And with the use of facial recognition, both Openpath and Rhombus are identifying that it is me. Well, let's say you have the opposite scenario. Maybe you still have some badges around the office, and those badges, they fall into the wrong hands. And so you're going to see another example here of me finding a badge. It doesn't necessarily belong to me. And I'm going to go here, and Rhombus will detect that this badge that does not match up with the actual person. So it was actually me coming in, but I was using the badge of Brandon. So again, it was the system identified that, and it threw an alert that, hey, this is not the right person, and this person should not be badging in. So let's say, kind of going to what Lance was saying, or what Lance was talking about, is actually getting these alerts if you're not on site. So I'm going to actually flip now and show what this looks like on mobile. So on mobile, when this happened, I actually got this alert that says, hey, there was an unauthorized badge event. So if you're off site like Lance was, you could actually take this and you could go into that and click on it, and it would actually go directly into the alert. And there we see on mobile the unauthorized badge alert. So now let's say Lance again was off site, and he needs to actually share this with somebody and quickly have, you know, maybe the authorities or someone else look into it. Is you can go one step further, and then you can say, hey, I want to share this clip. You can give an optional title. You can password protect the link if you need to, and then you can give it an expiration. So what we did is literally within a matter of minutes, the system detected that there was unauthorized badge entry. We got the alert, we watched it on mobile, and then we were able to share it out. So when you see these solutions work together, it just shows you with a seamless integration like that, how quickly the information can be shared between the systems and how quickly you can take action on that, which is very important. So I want to just show this quickly now from the Openpath side. So with Openpath, now you can see all the events directly within the mobile as well. So we can see these times that I entered. You can see as a user, you can see the different times that you badge accessed in. So you get the same access that you have for mobile. And just like Lance was talking about before, which I think is really important, we use the same feature all the time here at Rhombus as well, is the ability to do things like remotely unlock. You have workers, you don't want to be on site, you want to just remotely let them in. You can do the same thing here in that, you know, you click it and it automatically unlocks for you, and the door is unlocked for that person. So I think that's something that's really great about both of the solutions, in that both Openpath and Rhombus, we put a lot of effort into the mobile solution just as much, because especially in this day and age, it's really important for folks to be able to do everything they can, both on-premise and off-premise, wherever they might be. Even if it was on vacation, as Lance said, I can't remember what he said, but it sounded somewhere nice. All right, so that's the extended demo.
I would just like to just add to Garrett here, this is real important because, you know, particularly during these times when companies are more remote, you have these activities from a compliance and audit standpoint as well. So it's very easy for companies to go back and look at what happened, when it happened, and who's involved should you need it as well. So another important feature. As mentioned, you know, these times have called for different ways of thinking about the business world, the business environment, and the physical aspects of it. So as you think about end users, your employees and visitors, some of the areas that, you know, collectively we support, obviously, you know, reducing common touch points, the touchless experience, you know, replacing the pin pads should you have them. Mobile credentialing is definitely the way to go because it's very easy to quickly deploy, whether you're an employee or a guest. And it also helps understand social distancing, right? If your density is going above what should be right, given the footprint of your office, the square feet and number of employees. One example is if you believe with occupancy management, it's 50 employees in that space is about right to have adequate social distancing. Within Openpath, then there's only 50 employees allowed in at any one time, and that can also be verified within the Rhombus platform. So collectively, they're working together. And if employee number 51 came by, tried to get in, they wouldn't be allowed in until an employee left. So again, that's one of many examples of managing the safety and wellness of your employees. From a system administration standpoint, again, we're all working remotely. The ability within both platforms to seamlessly change roles, manage roles, permissions, hours, scheduling is important. If you're on a flexible schedule where you've got A, B, C teams coming in at different times and different days, that's a way that you can give them credentials for those days, and then also verify it within the Rhombus platform as well, so that no one's surprised. Someone might make a mistake and come in on a day when they weren't scheduled. An example is the door wouldn't unlock then, and an alert could happen where that manager could be notified that this person tried to enter the day they weren't supposed to be there. So again, it's just giving you kind of a complete peace of mind and reassurance during these times. So we talked about at the user level, we talked about it at the system administration level, and then when you think about it at the business level, whether you are a system administrator or you're an executive and a manager, all the different ways that you can use the platform to continue remote working, the operations, some companies have essential workers on site where everybody else are still working off-site. So again, it allows you that complete flexibility to manage the different needs of your employee and your business requirements. And again, as Lance mentioned, we're constantly collectively rolling out new features that just magically appear that you can use. And again, these are advantages of an open cloud-based mobile-first platform. With that, we really appreciate your time today. Should you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to our friends at Rhombus Systems, sales@rhombussystems.com. Likewise at Openpath, should you have any questions, our team there, sales@openpath.com, also eager to chat with you. And we really appreciate your time today.